Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. And welcome to week 25 of the Don't Wake the Dragon series. I have been working on these eyeballs and they are a bit tacky. The weather has not been helpful, and honestly I'm not sure how these next vlogs are going to go because I'm beginning to go into full swing with my new schedule. My time is going to be limited and I think I will be only having one studio day. This week I will continue this vlog because I think I have a little bit more free time in the schedule this week, but next week I'm thinking we're going to start probably transitioning into 1 month vlogs, because I will only have one day out here. And I have some time in the scheduling of releasing footage because these videos are coming at you much later than when I have actually filmed them. I'm okay with maybe making one vlog for the month of February and then one vlog for the month of March. We'll see where it goes from there. I will have like a spring break coming up the end of March, so I might be able to get, a longer vlog in between, but we'll see. Anyway, my plan for this week is to at least leave this studio with getting these eyeballs situated, and I have yet to take them apart. The next step is to remove the beach balls and to start coating the interior. I will say this has been a very slow process because it's been about in the 40s in the evenings, and it takes till about maybe 1, 2 o'clock for it to finally come to about 60 to 70 degrees. And the resin is very tacky, even though there's not much moisture. I mean, it is supposed to rain again this week, but it's the cold that is doing funky things with the curing of this resin. And there's some weird residue at the surface that I'm like just now wiping off. It's like a weird haze. I'm a little bit nervous about continuing this process in this type of weather, but I really don't have much a choice if I want to get it done. The only upside is that these eyeballs are not really a structural component of the dragon. They're just kind of something going in as an aesthetic thing and off to the side. So as long as I can get a decent watertight seal, I'm okay with that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try and get these off of, no. I'm gonna go feed the flock of crows that are calling in the front, and then I will be back to take the beach balls off. All right, they're a bit angry out there. You can hear them. They're going nuts. Apparently there was a raccoon on my front porch. It's like 8:30 in the morning and I don't know what's going on, but yeah, there's like all kinds of crazy commotion in my menagerie of animals over here. Anyhow, my gosh, what is going on with them? Okay, so they're in my backyard yelling. I don't know what's going on. What was I gonna do? I know, I was going to say the main thing that I'm concerned about is, even if I had snippets of time in between things, the main reason why I've chosen to take on the going to school is because I need full blocks of time to work on this resin in the upcoming parts. Once I start switching over to putting on the large pieces of panels that are the finished panels, the interior fabric, and the exterior finish, I can't do it in these small snippets of, 2 hours here, 3 hours there. I need a full 8-hour day because once the fabric goes on, it's not, it's the final finish, and I have a limited time to make sure that I really get that surface just right. And I need to be able to let it set out in the sun midday when I have the heat of the day, have a couple hours to come back to it when it's slightly tacky to smooth out the surface. There's just no way around needing that time to do it. Dealing with this dragon head and coming out here and slathering on stuff in a couple hours on the interior, no one's going to see inside of this head. It's going to be so far in that it's not an access point for anybody sitting inside of the dragon. So that bit I'm not worried about. And the eyeballs too, I mean, this is part of the reason why I've been going really slow with these. They just take that amount of time to kind of get in here and layer them up. But once these things are in and positioned, the finish is the thing that's really going to take lengthy amounts of time that I just will not have. All right. A little bit of that yellowing that I can work with. I think I want to backfill with, I don't know how much of that you can see. Oh, that's an awful light. Let me go grab the good flashlight. Oh, you got a good glow. Look at that. I'm going to backfill this with some green. I think I'm going to do a bit of trimming around it first. I want to layer it with some green, but I want to make sure that I can get it opaque enough. Wait a minute, maybe I don't need to. That kind of diffuses the bulb quite a bit. Ooh. Oh, these are going to be awesome. All right. I don't need to do that. I'm just going to continue to put in some green mica. And it should be diffused enough where I don't have like a hot spot with the light bulb. I have no idea how I'm affixing this to the inside. But we'll figure it out as we do. One of the main things I noticed is I have to be real careful when I'm using the brush because some of the bristles are getting caught in the resin. I mean, it's a little disguised with the type of eye this is, but I want to pay attention to that. So this is partly what I mean by having to stay and watch it, and this is just the eyeball. It starts to pool and you need to be able to catch the resin and disperse it. So imagine this in a much larger panel where it's the finish and it's embedded into the middle of the shell of the dragon. You know, it's one thing if I blow an eyeball here, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, that sucks, but it's one little piece that's separated and I can go back and fix it. If it is in the middle of the giant body that is taking me 6 months to assemble, could completely screw up my entire project and I would lose 6 months worth of progress. So it's just not worth the risk. I've put in way too much time, and if it's just going to take longer and I can only have these other days to do it, then that is what it is. Unfortunately, it's just the situation the way it is. I'm a part-time instructor. I don't get to choose what my schedule is going to be. I have to take what I'm given. It was a stretched out scheduling where I had to be on campus for 5 days, but for snippets of my time. I realize it sounds like I'm complaining about the fact that I have to work 5 days a week. What I think a lot of people don't realize that when you are in higher education, your work is not just teaching classes. Every 3 years, I have to produce a portfolio. It used to be every single year, a portfolio of new work, of things that I have done to contribute to the art world. I still have to be using my time in the studio to put together the portfolio that ensures that I am a valid candidate to keep my job. Yes, it's my outlet, it's my place to go and be, but it's still part of me having a roof over my head, me being able to support these kids. It is the other parts, the things that I learn here, that I bring back to that job. Being able to develop new coursework while I'm here. Having my work out for my students to see and experience and know that I'm not just somebody talking about doing these things, that I'm actually making them. I mean, the classes are also an aid for the portfolio, right? I'm a sculptor and I'm going back to brush up on my welding, which I have done before, but welding is something that can be offered in sculpture programs. Yeah, I'm not like sitting here going, oh wow, she's whining and complaining that she has to like work 5 days a week. I've been working 7 days a week. Just like lecturers who do book classes, research-based things, they still have to do research. They still have to produce a portfolio. They have to publish writing in their off time. It's just I'm a studio artist. So instead of publishing things, I'm physically making things. It is Sunday morning, January 29th. I was able to coat a bunch of coats of the glassing on the head and brought it in. It does need to be flipped and I still have to continue the opposite side, but the eyes are done. I'm really happy with them. I came out and I took one pump and mixed it into 3 little trays and then played with some different micas, top coated it with some of that on the inside as well. I'm really happy. I'm happy with the way it looks. I think it looks good. It's subtle. The coloring is subtle, but when the lights are off, you'll be able to see the depth in the eye. So I'm gonna try and get these actually rigged into the head. I think I'm gonna just take some black fabric in the voids and kind of wrinkle it around the eye hole so that it looks like lid and skin around it. But that just reminded me, before I do that, I have to actually resolve the cavity of the eye. So maybe I'm not going to be doing that today. I think what I am going to be doing is finishing then the glass on this head around the one eye. I only did one half of the eye. When I go to back this and put this in, this is perfect the way it is. And I don't want to be having this up in the hole while I'm trying to resolve what's going on around it and having crap drip into where the eye is, because it might ruin what's already going on here. So this is this weird dance. I need to resolve what's happening first, almost fully, then get it to the point where this is just ready to be affixed and I don't have to worry about anything dropping into the eye. All right, so that's the plan. It's Wednesday. I was able to get out here during a couple days, finished up the majority of the glass that I needed to all around these areas, and I just came in with some black fabric to block this out. My idea now is to take some more of this black fabric and kind of crinkle it around the eye to sort of make this like skinish texture. But I needed to have the base of the black on here before I did that. The other thing is too, I'm kind of not happy about this being exposed like this. I should have put the fabric over this, but I didn't. I think I'm just going to take some resin with the black dye pigment and just paint it in on here. Or do I want it? Alright, you know what? I do need it to have a little bit of a softer edge. I'm going to just take some strips of the black, I think, of the black fabric and get it in over here while I'm crinkling, and then I'm not dealing with dye. I just thought in my head that I can sort of sculpt this fabric once it has stuff on it, like, you know, just kind of come in and let it sort of crinkle over on itself, more like a lid, an eyelid, and sort of do this technique just around this cavity of where this eye is going to be, and that will remain just this with the mica and sculpted. That'll also give me a sleepy eye look when I go to pop the eye in. Voided spaces where the eye isn't, I can also repeat this process on the inside. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just get on with doing that. And as always, I'm just going to be waiting for stuff to dry. I'm only going to be able to do probably this one eye, maybe get the nostril on, because I did put the fabric over by the nostril so I could pop that on too. And then this might be all I do, because weather permitting, probably not going to dry enough for me to flip it over. It's Thursday morning. I just finished up putting on the last of the fabric around the second eye. Yesterday I worked really late, later than I should have, because it was just not the right temperature. but I wanted to get as much of the black fabric coated around the head as possible. I'll throw up a picture right now. I got probably a good third of the head covered. I probably should not have been adding on pieces under the conditions that it was, because it was later in the day. I didn't have, you know, enough hot heat sun. And when I came out here this morning, it was still a bit tacky. Today is February 2nd. This weekend is the 3-year anniversary of this channel, and I have a special video that y'all will have seen by now. I am going to end up switching to a 1 day a week out here in the studio, so I will pull all of that footage together and just do what happened in February. But yeah, I'm gonna call this vlog here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already. Stick around to watch this project move at its snail speed that it's now amounting to. And remember, don't wake the dragon.